Hello, Dr. Sadiq. How you doing? This is the my role play session with my assistant director for the Adlerian theory. This is going to be again the first session. The goal to this would be to gather some information regarding the family and the family structure. Also, a little information regarding the addiction and beginning to develop understanding of the symptoms associated with the actual addiction and how we can develop some move forward, looking forward to developing coping skills and different things to address those. So here we go.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How you doing? My name is John. I'm gonna be a clinician for today, or well, for your time in the program. Um, but attempt to utilize the Adlerian theory with you, which consists of discussing about your lifestyle, your family atmosphere, family structure, the conciliation. We're gonna discuss your addiction and some of the symptoms that go along with it, the behaviors that's associated with the actual drug use. And so yeah, so we're gonna go from there. So what brings you here today?
First session. I guess let me bring it back to the alcohol.
Oh,
Bring it back to the alcohol. Just drinking more. I find myself drinking more than what I would normally drink. Again, it's more so like on the weekends because I'm binge. Um, I could easily go through a full bottle that I'll buy, gone, being by myself. Um, I'm just so what brought me here is the fact that again I'm catching blackouts, and it's like happening a little bit more frequently. I think now, so I figured I might as well get into treatment.
okay. That's a good first step. Congratulations. At least you understand have an issue and you're seeking to address it. So I would like to ask you a question regarding your family. Do you mind if
No, good.
So how would you describe growing up in your family, the environment, the atmosphere?
Um, Close knit, I say, because the family was always involved with each other, but they were doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing. So me as a child, I think like I was exposed to all of that. You know how the family would get together, have their parties and stuff like that. They're not really paying attention to us kids who was just like running around, basically snatching drinks. Whatever got left behind, we running around drinking up, and so we getting tore up too at a young age.
Right, okay.
No real supervision there. But yeah, no, but there was, active drug use in the family and stuff like that. Things that I guess got to learn later on as I got older.
Right.
Because the younger you are, you're not really paying attention to none of that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so that's how that was. There was coke use, there was heroin use, and
So how would you say you felt about this? If you can describe you can describe it with an emotion, sort of like, for example, anger, sadness. How would you describe that upbringing? It's
uh,
or happy. You can even been happy.
yeah. Some people might say that it's kind of messed up that you grew up that way. So some people might say sad, but I kind of take it as I learned from it. So I wouldn't. I don't even know what to say. Good emotion, but because it's still a messed up situation. But I feel like I learned from that because of what I knew. Like I stood away from certain things, even though I messed up with the alcohol. But again, the alcohol was something that not praised, but
Right. It was
you know what I'm saying. Like it was accepted.
sort of a social, it's a social
It's a social
so,
thing.
yeah.
So just looking at the other way is like I lost my train of thought.
Okay, no, that happens sometimes. It happens. So I heard you mention kids. It was you was the only child, or did you
No,
have
I grew
siblings?
up with my cousins and stuff like that. Like my siblings, I had an older sister, but she ran the streets.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it was always like me and the cousins and stuff like that. So again, oh yeah, okay. So some people might say that, yeah, that's sad for you that you was raised up that way, but I took it as a learning experience. So yeah, it wasn't really unfortunate for me to grow up in that type of environment.
Well, that's good. As you got older, you was able to pull out the positive out of it, and that sounds
I mean,
good.
don't get me wrong, I still mess up
Absolutely.
with the other thing, but
We're human. As far as so yeah, you had an older sister. She ran the street.
she ran
So
the
what was
streets.
your relationship with your sister, being that she ran the street? Was there any relationship, or just basically she was never in the home?
She was never really in the home. Sometimes she used to, she was one of those runaways and stuff like that. Disappear for like a week and then come back and
Okay, okay. So how about the relationship with your parents? Besides the at a party setting, how was it regularly at home on a regular day?
growing up again different when I was young, like, but as I got older, like through my teenage years and stuff like that, it's like my parents was doing their own thing, and again I wasn't really aware that they were. I knew my father was getting high, but I didn't know my mother was getting high. So they were doing their own thing, and nobody was really paying attention to what I was doing. So I could get away with murder,
Right.
and I'm home like this, and nobody knew nothing. So
So you think that so as you mentioned earlier, that did play a role in your addiction, your issue with alcohol today, you feel?
I guess, cause I mean, ain't nobody telling me otherwise, or you know what I'm saying. It's like I'm since young, I've been doing my own thing.
Okay.
Parents is there, but they not there. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, it's they there, but they not there. I get it. It's understandable. It's unfortunate, but it happens. So, all right. So you here today to address the alcohol. So if you could articulate, how do you feel you can play an active yet positive role in your recovery within this therapeutic relationship and take out when you going? How would you see your behaviors being actively positive and taking the right steps toward not using?
Hmm. Well, I was looking to see just to motivate myself further. I was gonna see if I actually jump on that medication that they have that'll make you sick if you use a drink.
The
And it is a pill that they give you. And they'll act from what I was told, they'll make you throw up and everything. Like
Oh,
you wouldn't want to drink.
really?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with it. I'll
Okay.
have to look into it. It says good. He's teaching me something. I'll have to look into its value.
Because sometimes
I
it's
don't
like
know.
I wanna I try to set my mind on, okay, I'm not gonna drink today, but then it happens.
Right.
So I think if I was to have that extra, well, no better, because you're gonna mess yourself up, then maybe I'll take it a little bit more seriously.
Well, I think that's similar to the a behavioral negative reinforcement type situation. If you know you're gonna get sick, you won't use.
Mm-hmm.
Good idea. So all right. So as far as the symptoms associated, the behaviors that lead up to your drinking, if a miracle happened and those symptoms disappear, the symptoms, the behaviors that lead before you actually drink, the things that trigger you.
Okay.
If those disappear, how do you see you being a different person? If the miracle happened that those symptoms were taken away and that they're no longer presented to trigger you to drink, how do you see you?
Well, I know I'll definitely have a clearer head on a regular basis instead of being, stagnant sometimes.
Okay.
Also, that keeps me safe. cause I think I almost busted my ass last time, like, God forbid I fall, crack my head open, just because I'm drunk or something like that,
Right,
you know,
absolutely.
so, that definitely, um, I don't know, I guess, I would still have to work on just killing the boredom, just, doing more,
Right,
and,
right.
yeah,
So keeping on that same topic to close out, right? I want you to begin thinking about it's a technique called catching oneself. The same triggers and symptoms that we were just discussing.
okay,
Well, we just broadly discussed. I want you to begin to try to identify them as they happen. Things that make, triggers that make you want to use. Try to catch it while it's happening and begin, you know, thinking of ways that you can build a sort of like a coping mechanism or a way to resist the urge or avoid the trigger so that for next section we can expand on it and you can begin start identifying the things that lead up to your actual use. And if we can begin to negate those and get address them, maybe we can start to have you reduce your usage of your alcohol drinking at first and then eventually stop because you understand yourself and your symptoms more, and you'll be able to have a defense for them.
okay,
Okay.
okay,
So for next section, that'll be what we'll be covering. All right.
okay,
Thanks for coming. I appreciate you. Have a good day.
you too.
All right.